job. No, I so desperately wanted it. I mean, I think that's the key, is to want it. Because the people who say, oh, I can't, you go from job to job, you can't get a job, and then they quit, they quit. If you keep at it, maybe you'll get one.
This is something that I'm curious about now. I wonder if it's easier for people in the barber's position, in my position, in Bill's position now to work your way into something suitable and satisfying, or was it easier for us to do that? Is it easier when there's more attention and more training and more possibility, or is it easier when there is less and you can kind of just sneak your way in? I don't know.
We didn't even have cable when we started.
No.
I mean, it was only the 3 networks. So you didn't have the choices you have now are tremendous.
I think the introductory access is easier because you can, frankly, you can have your own television studio on the internet and all, and you can be a writer, but in terms of maneuvering up, I think it's tougher because the floor is open to everybody.
Right. But the question again remains, what really is up? What will be up? Because is network television where these folks aspire, where they will end up, and if they end up there, does that mean anything? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I've pretty well lowered the bar.
Well, I think it will be for a while, because just in terms of numbers of viewers, even though people talk about great cable ratings, are still not even close to a great network rating. And Chris Elliott, who a lot of you know was a regular on the old show, and then he had a series on Fox called Get a Life, and which was a very, very low rated primetime show. But as he said, more people saw him in a week than would see him on late night. And it's just that still exists. For how long, who knows? But not next week.
Yeah, I think indications of flux, though, have never been greater.
Absolutely, yeah. Sure. Okay, my background, I guess, I'm an Aquarius. I went to, I graduated from Harvard University, where
You did not.
Where I majored in Latin because I thought the church was going to come back.
Wow.
I was a sports writer for a newspaper for 2 years. I was a stand-up comic for 13 years, where I met. It was the first time I met Dave, and I submitted writing samples to the shows 5 times. Didn't get hired, and on the 6th time, I was lucky enough to get hired, and that was 1991. And I always knew it wasn't television. I just always knew that I wanted to be a writer. And
Published author?
Yeah.
Nominated for the Thurber Award for Humor?
That's right. That was last year. Yeah, and I've been lucky enough to write books. And
columnist for Sports Illustrated?
It's not about me today. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. But I was, it's easy to write for someone, but it's so rare when you can write for someone who you aspire to, and that's been a great blessing for me. So.
You started in newspaper. Why did you get out there?
I loved writing for news because I loved writing every day, and but because the approval thing, you just couldn't tell. You just write it and send it out there, but you didn't hear anybody going, yay! So, do stand-up comedy for 13 years, and then, some guy says you suck, and all of a sudden, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then 2 guys say it, and then all of a sudden, it's a trend. And no, I loved writing for. But let me just say this about working on this show. It's the absolutely closest thing to working for a daily newspaper, because you're banging away all day, then it's time for the show, and then after the show it's like, okay, not tomorrow. And that's what I love. It's as urgent as working for a daily newspaper. That's the best thing about working on a strip show, which is what this is.
Who is the gentleman that had his hand up? We talked to you earlier. Somebody, yes, sir.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Todd Baroka. I'm a Chief Counsel student here. This is a question for all three of you. What is it like to wake up in the morning and for you to say, I'm an executive producer, I'm a writer?
When I wake up in the morning and the realization washes over me that I'm Dave Letterman, I spend a few hours sitting on the edge of my bed staring at the floor. And then it gets better from there. Barbara, and you?
I've only been the executive producer for 5 years. Maybe longer. I'm sorry, since 2000. But since I started as a receptionist and came all the way up, I'm still amazed that I've gotten this far. So I still think when I see my credit, I actually still go, hey, that's me.
And by the way, I don't know if this is typical of television, and I don't know how much you know what titles actually represent, but Barbara is in charge of everything. Everything big, everything small. She knows every entrance, every exit, every light, every cue, every song, every guest, every booking, on and on and on and on and on and on. And is the first person I go to when something like has not worked or gone gunny sack.
Yeah.
It's a new expression I'm trying to popularize. So she really is the hardest working woman in television that I've ever come across. Hardest working person, I'm sorry, in television that I've ever come across.
I couldn't, in all honesty, because I was sort of a weak personality, I would have never gotten to where I was without Dave.
And how about that, ladies and gentlemen? What do you say?
First of all, I don't wake up, I come to. And, I'm very grateful. All I ever wanted to be was a writer, and to be able to to contribute to something that when they write the history of television is going to get at least one chapter and probably should get 2 or 3 is very humbling. So thanks.
Who are you talking about?
Welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm Laura Donaldson. I'm with Connections Live, the Interstreet Magazine show. Many of the students here in the room want to be one of your 3 chairs. What are some words of wisdom for you?
Well, I can tell you, in my case, I've just been tremendously lucky, and I guess what that actually means is there have been many people in my life who have been responsible for encouraging me and reassuring me and helping me understand that maybe I could do what I'd always hoped to do. And it only takes a few of those people to get you in the right direction. And I consider myself to be very fortunate that I had many of those folks. Hire really good people, and you never have to make another decision in your life. That's the only thing I know for a fact. I think you guys, compared to where I was, are so far ahead of me. I think you people probably will need a lot less luck than I needed. I think you people have a better education than I had. I think you people have greater opportunities. I think the world is waiting for you guys, where the world didn't even know I existed, and was not all that thrilled when I arrived. So I think you